Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from The Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, yo. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso, from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports one day. Less than 24 hours to the kickoff of Super Bowl LVIII from Las Vegas. Final preparations being made by the two teams. We'll give you everything you need to know for Super Sunday. The Knicks win the trade deadline, but are they ready to win a championship? And the Rangers struggle in Chicago, and Shesterkin struggles. All that, plus more. We still have a couple boxes left, Brett. There's, I think, 5 boxes left. We're going to draw them in a little while.
They won't be there by the time you guys hear this.
Yeah, no. They'll be gone.
But they will be drawn. You're going to draw them up later, right?
I'll draw them up. I'll draw them up.
We're going to make sure he does it on video.
I'll do it on video for you.
Yeah. That's just, so we know it's all on.
So this is it. We got Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep.
We're powered by the Vouch Store. Vouch.store/LockedUpSports. Vouch.store/LockedUpSports. Check it out, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, there's good stuff on there. There's the drinks. They're sending me some samples. I think we're going to do some giveaways.
I
like the drinks and stuff.
You want us to endorse it? We need some samples.
Yeah, I got some samples.
We'll have a couple samples and see what happens.
I've been hoarding the samples.
We've learned in this past it's a different show. Like the St. Patrick's Day show gets a little wild around here. You know, you don't want to bring us to Saratoga.
We'll have a sample show. Yeah, the Saratoga show got out of hand.
Yeah, so this is regular.
So tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday. It's a different kind of day. What is your Super Bowl Sunday like?
So, it's just all about the, beginning to end, getting food ready, really, it's almost like, it's like a Christmas type of situation on Super Bowl.
Because it's an all
I'm not a big, I used to, go to the party, and I'm honestly more like stay home, make food, actually enjoy the game. You go to the party, you never watch the game.
Never watch it.
Everybody else is acting like idiots, and then the commercial comes on, they're like, oh, now watch. And, it's tough. And now this year's even more so with Taylor Swift because you got a whole group of people that were at that party that are now going to be watching.
If there's a party, let's say it's just a regular Super Bowl party and there's 20 people there.
Yeah.
How many of them you think, if I said, how many yards to a first down?
Oh.
How many, what you think,
average?
15 out of the 20 get it?
Can we go by regions of the country?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Northeast is probably actually worse. Down south, everybody knows first yard.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You're born and raised.
Well, if I gave them,
and it's not because of NFL. It's honestly typically because of college. But
how many players on the field?
Oh man, you're at under 10.
You think under 10? You think
on
half
the field?
of the people?
On
each team. Let's say I take 11 or 22 as an answer. I would take 11 or 22 as an answer.
It's going to be half and half for that, and that's simple. That's your basic. That's basic. Just so your regular. You're getting a lot of questions too. That's the only other problem with the party this year.
Questions.
So what's that? What just happened?
And I haven't gone to a party. I don't think in a while. I think the last one I went to was at Gordy's house.
Yeah.
Right? And on the way home, we left early because my wife got a little, inebriated. We had to pull over the car so she could get sick.
Yeah.
Outside the thing. Yeah. And then I got home and it was, I forget what Super Bowl was, but it was one at the end of the game where the punter stepped out of the back of the end zone on purpose to take a safety. It was the right play to do.
Yeah.
And it won me $3,000.
Ooh.
On a box.
Oh,
yeah.
See, that's a nice one. You're like, how do I get a 2?
Yeah.
I need 2.
And then I remember sitting there and going, it's 4th down. The right play here is to step out of the back of the end zone or snap it over his head. Have the punter run around a little bit.
That's not how it works. That's like gambling mentality. This is what should happen, and then it just doesn't.
Exactly. It happened that time, so I have won the pool and everything. Now,
but that's it. People invest. It's all boxes. Everything around work this week. This week is all boxes. People are coming by. With
Do you like the boxes? I hate the boxes.
I like how everybody gets in on it. It's not it's one thing to be I just went and signed up on some random website for a box and, it's impersonal. But it's honestly everybody at work has it, so it's the work box and somebody, and we're talking some bigger ones, people I know people worked out $16,000 in cash. Welcome to work.
Yeah.
And you know what that's like, and it's, so I like that. I think it's fun. but people get a little too crazy with how many. I know people who don't gamble at all, who might not even have the most money in the world, and let me tell you, they got $300, $400, $500 on boxes.
Yeah, that's a lot. And it's so random.
And honestly, they may win one, but it's just going to get them back their money.
Yeah, exactly. And the person I hate the most at the Super Bowl party, even besides like the wives that don't know, is the guy who's trying to figure out how to get the 4.
Oh no!
And the problem with the boxes is I become that guy.
Oh, that's
okay,
me.
so
that's
I need a
that's why I'm home
goal
now.
And I need 2 safeties.
I'm not pulling. I have a sheet.
I hate
sheet
it.
out,
I
and I don't
hate
have that many boxes this year, which is good.
And you missed the game. I'm sitting there trying to figure out how I can get the 4 and how it's going to work. Or how to get to 6.
I think it all shifted for me with the FanDuel and the sports betting coming into play, where I go, wait a minute, if I was going to spend $500 and I'm really just looking to make money, not just have fun on a random guess of, let me take a 1% chance. Because that's what it is when you buy a box. It's a 1%
chance
of winning. Like,
I said to
if
Brett,
I go, listen, I'll take my 500 and put it on a 50-50 chance.
I said to,
and that I think is even better than 50-50 based on what I've seen.
I said to Brett right before the show, and I said, it's a way to piss everybody off, because everyone's going to think it's not fair. Instead of drawing numbers, just this box, we're just going to go 0 through 9, 0 through 9. Yeah. It's the same chance that you took. It's the same chance that you had going in if I would have randomly drawn numbers.
It is, as long as nobody knew that was going to occur.
It was nobody knew, and nobody
nobody would know when we're not doing that. Even though Bob still, he seems like he wants to do it right now. Let me tell you, in our pre-production meeting, I can tell you right now, Bob had a whole bunch of good ideas for these boxes.
But we can't do it because I'm in. Then I know where the box numbers are going.
I was like, if we didn't have any boxes, I was like, we can do some shady stuff. That would be cool, Bob. We have some new cool box concepts. But once you're in there, if you landed on the good numbers, you're good luck. You're not going to have any friends. No friends.
I had
we might have more viewers just to watch because they're mad.
As we're taping this, have like 5 boxes left. I wanted to draw the numbers.
Right, and I was like, I go, wait. I go, he goes, yeah, but we don't have. And we already picked our boxes, so it wouldn't matter. Like, we're not, and I go, that's not the point. I go, at some point, if someone's going to call you and say, I want 2 boxes, and you're going to look, and you're going to have to pick what good numbers and who gets that last box. So he was like, it's not just about you. At some point, you're going to have someone else's numbers you could have put in there. So
now it's the line's down to a 1.5. I think it started at 2.5.
And I even saw the numbers this morning. So ready? It's 65% of the wagers are on the Chiefs.
But more money's on the Niners, right?
I don't know that.
The big money's in on the Niners.
Really? Because what I've seen is that
I saw that the Chiefs are more popular, but the Niners are more money.
There's even more money line bets on the Chiefs, not on the Niners, which is that with the number. That's again, that gives you a better odds.
It's not you might, you know what though?
But the biggest one that's way over 75% of the money is on the over.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about this game going over. What's the over?
48,
47.5?
But I think that's up.
I have it right here on FanDuel. 47.5.
No, I think that's up from what it was.
Oh, okay. I think
that's a little up.
And we're going to give you our
because of the money. That's how it goes. So this is if you wanted to really make a wager on this game, you want to make that wager, especially if you're on Kansas City or on the over. You wanted to make that bet early in the week. Now, the money has shifted the line to probably to where it's more appropriately supposed to be.
Now, let me tell you, just a little tip. If you're betting the money, now, take a gambling tip from me, but if you're betting the money line, don't bet the money line. It's minus.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, the money line.
You're going to lose by a point.
You lose by a point.
You're going to lose by a point for no reason.
The money line's like minus 124.
Even at 2, it's not worth it. At 2, you take the 2, and you lose your $12.
Take the 2 points.
You lose the extra $12.
Don't take the. I've learned the hard way.
You win. You win. It's either you don't lose. People think that they're like getting. Oh, I'm going to make more money. No, you made 0. No. You wanted to make an extra $20. No, you made $0 total.
They win by a point.
Right. So many times, and even like squeezing. You know how much money? If you have enough money, it's easy to say, but when you tag on to that line, when you bump up your line, whatever it is,
big money.
You can win. Like that's where you win because it's usually right on the number. Like and not even the line, but the overs and unders. If it's like 47 and you tease it down to 45 and take the over. You typically win those bets.
You're getting $106 for every 100 you bet on the money line. Okay, you're getting $92 for every 100 you bet on the points. So just take the take the point and a half.
I was wrong with $14.
God forbid it's 25-23.
Yeah.
And Kansas City's going for a field goal at the gun.
See, you know what?
And you lose
you know what I like. You know what I like to do more in those games is
watch it start first and then bet.
No, not even.
It's
I take it bigger. I take them on a team to win by a bigger score, by 15 plus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where. Honestly, it happens. Like randomly, a team just goes off and is having. And the Super Bowl's not a good game for that, to be honest with you. But in some of the other divisional round games and whatever else, and you look at those some teams who won. The underdog team won by what? 10 points?
Yeah. Listen. For some of these guys, it's a big for their career game. You got people like Trent Williams, right? Trent Williams, he's played 13 years. He's one of the best left tackles of his generation. He's got all the numbers. He's going to the Hall of Fame either way. He doesn't have a Super Bowl, and he's lost one already. Okay, so this is big for his. He's saying, because they asked him at Media Day about his Hall of Fame candidacy, and he was kind of like, well, people they judge with Super Bowl. He's going to the Hall of Fame. That's not a question.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Now somebody like Christian McCaffrey, I don't think he's there yet.
Oof. I'm not saying he's there yet. He is beyond on the trajectory.
Oh, he's on
he would have to really, really have a problem. Let me tell you, he's 2 or 3 years away of the same thing of being almost in there.
You want to hear something
without a Super Bowl?
Want to hear something? Now I'm guessing I'm an idiot because of this, but you tell me.
Yeah.
I just found out 2 days ago that Ed McCaffrey is his father.
Isn't that funny?
I didn't know that.
Is it his father?
It's his father.
It's his actual father.
His father.
See, I don't know why.
You didn't know that either?
No, I learned. I thought it was like his uncle or something because I'd only seen stories of him talking about how Ed McCaffrey, whatever, brought him this or showed him that or whatever it was. But the way they referenced it wasn't like his father, Ed McCaffrey. It was like his relative.
Ed McCaffrey won back-to-back Super Bowls with Mike Shanahan with the Broncos. Christian McCaffrey is Kyle Shanahan. They could win a Super Bowl now.
Wow.
The sons.
All right.
Father-son coach, father-son player. Ed McCaffrey. I mean, I remember Ed McCaffrey, right? On the Giants, on the Niners.
Yeah, Giants. I mean, how can you not?
Yeah.
I mean, of course. I mean, in the Niners, but he was a staple.
Niners, he was behind Rice and Taylor, though. When he went to Denver, he was the number one guy. Yeah. And he won back-to-back with Elway. 98, 97, 98, something like that. So, but McCaffrey... I think he's like, you're right. He's on trajectory. He needs a couple more 1,000-yard seasons.
He used to show up, and he said in high school, Christian McCaffrey said that, and this is funny because I hear the story, and he was like, no, he's like he would show up before the games, and he would hang IVs and be giving them IVs before the games.
Okay.
And,
his father.
Yeah. Well, now that I know it's his father, yeah.
So you didn't know either?
No, I thought it was like his uncle. I mean, I knew it was his relative. I knew it was his relative, but I thought it was like his uncle because I heard this story specifically of they were like, and Ed McCaffrey would come and give Christian McCaffrey IVs before high school games, and the guy would go off obviously not because of the IVs, because it's Christian McCaffrey.
I found out and was like, oh my god, I can't believe. I was like, how stupid am I that I'm just finding that out? But I
felt the same way when I saw that.
So maybe it's not as common knowledge as we thought. I mean, I don't know.
I guess not, but it's like, you feel like you hear all those. Now, you know what it is? That's the stuff where regular season, we don't realize how it's like, where NFL is a huge deal, but like the storyline stuff comes out in that 2 weeks between the Super Bowl.
I hate
all this stuff. I hate the Kelsey brothers last year, drove me crazy with the mom.
Ball.
No, and it's really just because it's the repetition. I'll give you, it's cool with like you hearing it once, but then even for them, they got to go do 30 interviews on 100, 500 interviews on the exact same stupid thing. And you see I just don't, and this year it's the Taylor Swift stuff and everything else. And the repetitiveness of all this is like, I just can't. I honestly can't. I hate the lead up. I hate the lead up into it. All the dumb stories.
I think they lose
this
momentum.
There's gonna be a heartfelt story on some third string punters, high school coach who guided them through, tragedy.
When do you now the pregame show? The game is at 6:30. Okay, 6:30.
Yeah.
CBS. The pregame show will start at like noon. When does it start ramping up? When do you put the pregame show on?
No, because you can't even, because half an hour before you're watching and it's like, and here comes Jack Harlow to perform, whatever song. And it's not even real because it's not like regular pregame.
No,
and you're going to get that same
there's a million of
half
those
an hour
stories.
sit down story.
Yeah,
you're going to
sit
get
down.
the same. Oh, here's Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, Boomer. Sitting down with-
yeah. And you're like with his aunt, and I don't want to hear it from your aunt.
Did you see Boomer and Gio this week? They were in the Super Bowl. They were at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, because Boomer's CBS and everything. They're doing their morning show for the Super Bowl. They booked. They had Randy Moss coming into the studio. Now they were on like not on Radio Row. They had their own studio. Big WFA in New York's. So they're like, Gio goes to the producer. He's like, what is Randy Moss promoting? And he goes, something about horse racing. He's a big horse racing guy.
Okay.
And he goes, are you sure it's Randy Moss the receiver and not Randy Moss the horse commentator?
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you mean? It was Randy Moss, the horse commentator.
That's so
Gio
cool.
had his Randy Moss jersey on.
That's so awesome. That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
And they figured it out only because he asked him. He goes, because Gio's a big Vikings fan. So he was ready.
That's like the equivalent of like being like, oh, and we got Mickey Callaway on today. We're ready and we're about to get ramped up, and all of a sudden it's like, hi, yeah, CEO of Callaway Golf Clubs.
Well, I did
and
that.
we're like, what?
I called Ed Lynch Ed Kranepool.
That was classic.
I mean,
that
that's
was
the-
classic.
that's a
right?
bad one.
Like minutes before he was going to walk out for a Hall of Fame day.
Yeah,
he was about to get ready. He's
we
like,
had an interview with
perfect,
him.
great interview, the whole thing. At the end of it, now he questions the rest of his life whether or not we thought he was
because he
Ed
was
Hearn.
like,
the whole
remember
time.
we were laughing and we were talking about him fighting people,
he had a
don't fight
great
people.
time. Great
and then
time.
at the end I was like, Ed Kranepool, and Brett looked at me.
It was my favorite. It was one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it
happens. It happens, right? Now every
I mean,
guest we
not
have,
to-
I have a big thing right in front
Not
of
to
me.
me, but
Every guest we have now, I have something big right in front of me that says the name because I lose the track of it. And
yeah, no, but it's even funnier than that because you leave whatever a few weeks ago, and after I see a piece of paper, and it's probably still here, and it was after again we started with Mickey Callaway, and it said Mickey Mouse.
no, did it?
Yes. And it was because you were like, don't call him Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, because I made that mistake before, and you feel terrible. The guy's doing our show.
Well, you know,
I mean,
you got a lot of stuff to think of.
George Kittle. George Kittle is another one. I don't think a automatic Hall of Famer. He's still got work to do. He's got these guys.
Yeah, but
he's not big production with the touchdowns and the receptions.
But when
He's way behind.
you say these guys have a lot of work to do, this is a singular game in their life where they can do something. And
Yeah,
they have
but
to
there's
win. They have to win, but if they go up, if Christian McCaffrey has 3 touchdowns, if George Kittle goes for 120, makes one iconic catch. I'm serious.
he has to play better than Kelsey.
No, you're right, but it has to be a combo of a win. It's not even.
He has to win.
Kelsey's not gonna.
There's no greater championship game or any series in sports that there's a bigger difference between the winner and the loser than the Super Bowl.
And it comes down to that last thing. You look at someone, you look at the Seahawks, you know who Marshawn Lynch is? Not that they didn't get it before, but that last one, you get that second Super Bowl and they push him over the line, as opposed to, you go, wait a minute, you only remember the winner in that one.
Eli. I know, a Hall of Famer, and the people still question it with 2 Super Bowls.
You watch, and it's not typically just that one game. It's the run up. So if you have a good run up, if you're like that guy who went off for those, 3 games on the way up, it can be the one game and you have a above average possible Hall of Fame career, it will propel you way further into that.
I mean, just look at the Super Bowl that the Raiders played against the Bucks, right?
Yep.
Rich Gannon, Raiders quarterback. NFL MVP that year, had one of the all-time great years. Half the people you say Rich Gannon, they're not even going to know who you're talking about.
Nope.
He had one of the all-time great years, a great career. He had one. The Raiders didn't change their hand signals. So Gruden knew them all still, told his team, and they killed them. And they killed the Brooks took one back for the pick 6.
Yes.
And then he won
Big
the MVP.
one. Yeah.
And Gannon had one of the worst Super Bowls any quarterback has had. And now he's big, you don't even know Rich Gannon.
Who's the guy? Who's going to step up? Is it going to be the usuals? Is it going to be the guys from Kansas City? Who's going to step up and be that guy who is not expected to. Like, we're expecting Christian McCaffrey to have an amazing game. We're expecting Kittle to have a big game. We're expecting Mahomes and Kelsey and all that stuff. But who's the guy who emerges? Because it always happens. There's going to be the unexpected guy who could possibly even go out and win MVP over the guys who are the obvious choices.
I think no. The MVP is the quarterback. Right?
It's not always, because if the one
Brooks, the one I just told you about is a very rare one.
That is a rare one. But anybody, there's a bunch of guys in the Niners that could win it. Like, yes, it could be Purdy.
But Purdy
yes,
could
it
not
could be
win it. He could have a
McCaffrey.
crappy game
It could be
so
McCaffrey. It could be Debo. Very easily.
I agree.
And it could be and each one of those guys, if they really go off. But on the other side, if you look at, again, it comes down to, honestly, the obvious that sticks out is anybody on either defense to have their second pick, one of which goes for a touchdown,
or
and you
kick
win the
return.
game. Because if you get the second, it doesn't happen in any regular game. You get two of those picks, one that really make the difference. And you watch that
to me, it feels like San Francisco's a heavy underdog to me. And I don't know why I'm so confident that the Chiefs. I just think that. I think it's a tall ask for Brock Purdy. Okay, Spagnuolo's been blamed. Spagnuolo's going to throw the house at him. They have a decent secondary that they can kind of leave back there out on an island when the linebackers blitz. It's a tough ask for Purdy here. He's going to be under pressure. The offensive line's got to really come up big for the Niners if they want to compete in this
They're going to have to cover all three of those options, though. Like, at any given time. And you're talking about healthy. Like, you have to realize this happened, and his run-up came with Debo not being healthy.
Yeah, but let him dump it off to McCaffrey.
But it's not just McCaffrey. It's dump off to McCaffrey, or is it going to be the little tiny slant right over the middle to your tight end Kittle, or is it going to be the little swing out here to Debo? You got to cover all three. And if you miss the blitz, he is going to run. And he can run. And it doesn't look like he can run. So let me tell you, you're right. As long as you have that zero coverage, that each guy, which is man coverage.
Now
if you cover the man coverage, I'll give you that. But then you have to have a spy. And you can't have all of it. You can't have a blitzer, a spy, and everybody perfectly covered.
Because there's only how many players on the field, Brett?
11 for each team. We had this conversation earlier. But.
So now this week we also had Super Bowl week. You had the Hall of Fame inductions. You have these are the people going in. You got Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, and then two older guys, Steve McMichael and Gradishar. I don't know. Randy Gradishar? I don't know who that is.
Classic.
Now, the big one was Devin Hester. I think he's no doubt about it, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, he literally changed the position of kick and punt returner. And to watch, speaking of Super Bowls, the most iconic opening to a Super Bowl. And that was
here, right? That was this Super Bowl? The Bears? Right?
Bears.
Bears no, it wasn't here. It wasn't this one.
Wasn't here.
It wasn't at the Giants Stadium. Or
No.
MetLife.
No.
Okay.
That wasn't MetLife.
That was Seattle and Peyton, right? And then Indianapolis.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even
that
remember
one,
that.
The first snap of that game went over Peyton's head, and it was a safety.
Yes.
And now the big snub this week for the Hall of Fame on his first ballot, and it's a snub as far as I'm concerned. Antonio Gates didn't get in.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Devin Hester in. Devin Hester in. I'm cool with that. Dwight Freeney, he wrecked a game. Julius Peppers,
you know why, right?
Game.
You know why?
Why?
Same reasons we just talked about. Got to win the Super Bowl.
They look. He never.
Got to get the Super Bowl.
Played in one, right? He didn't.
There you go. There you go. I'm telling you. I think that may be in a writer's mind or whoever's deciding this stuff right now. But who is like?
Yeah, but Antonio Gates was the best. He was the best tight end for 7-8 years, right?
Yeah, I guess, but there's other tight ends who won more Super Bowls, who had,
Gronk.
Yeah, but you look and it's just, I'm telling you, that's just, you have to get to the promised land in the NFL.
That's why it's
different.
such a big game. It's such a big game.
It's different. Like, it really is.
And then we also had the other night was the NFL awards. I don't watch the awards because I really don't, not that I don't care, because you talk about them all day. All year, but I can't watch any of these award shows, so I didn't watch it. They have like Penn and Teller he turned
the Jets into a winner.
The commissioner,
Jets into a winner.
He turned the commissioner into Barry Sanders.
Oh, okay.
Got into a glass thing, he picked a card, and Barry Sanders came out as like the king of hearts.
Does that mean he's going to retire early?
No. Let me ask you now. Wait. Let's do this. The comeback player of the year. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's dig into this first, because after that I want to get into a quick thing about something else. Go for it.
Okay, so comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco won. Now, here's the controversy. Joe Flacco, they do like a point system. 13 first-place votes, 26 second-place votes. Damar Hamlin
died last year.
21 first-place votes, 7 second-place votes. When you tally it up, Joe Flacco had 151 points and Damar Hamlin had 140. Joe Flacco is your comeback player of the year. Do you have a problem with that?
I just think it's crazy that more people. No, I don't at all. Joe Flacco is that is the definition of the award, in my opinion. To go from
it's a weird year. It's a weird thing.
We go from a guy who was not playing football to a guy who was almost dead on the field, which is equivalent. Like both of them no longer playing football at that moment, right? But Joe Flacco took a team, a average team, and pushed them further than they were supposed to go.
Won a playoff game, made
probably
it to the
further than the quarterback they gave their whole life away for would have taken them
the next 10 years.
Damar Hamlin, and God bless the man, like for coming back and even getting into an NFL game. Okay, but he was on the practice squad for a good chunk of the year. He played on special teams when he was in there. He was not a factor. And not only that, and I don't know, they say the postseason doesn't have any factor on who wins comeback player of the year. I'd like to know when that last vote was cast, because if he gets the first down on the fake punt, he wins comeback player of the year.
Yeah, but the fake punt giving it to him is a terrible call.
Because
the coach, you got the quarterback, an MVP candidate, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, sitting on the sideline.
The coach thought it was like Hollywood. He thought it was a Hollywood ending. They were like, you know what? Let's give it. As soon as Damar Hamlin was back there, they came out. They were like fake. They were like fake to the guy who doesn't even play football anymore.
The name of the movie was Angel as the Upback. Now, here's a weird thing. Ready? I'm on the page right now on my laptop here. With the listing the awards, okay? So they give the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, right? Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner wins it, right? After 12 years, he wins the Sportsmanship Award. The very next award listed is Celebration of the Year, which is kind of an anti-sportsmanship award. Let's be real, right? And the winner of that...
Wait, really?
Look, here it is.
I see it.
Celebration of the Year winner, Tommy DeVito.
100%. He knew it, yeah.
Yeah,
there's a moment. You have to realize there's a moment where Tommy DeVito was the first guy in history.
He's the Jeremy Lin
was right, but he's the first guy ever who got that put in his hands and knew right there that he was never. This was what he was going to be great at, not being a quarterback. He knew that this was his one chance to grasp. Yeah, but not even he can make more of it. This is now 15 minutes isn't 15 minutes anymore. As soon as you have your thing, you've got a podcast. You got a sponsorship. You're now the Italian. New Jersey. Let me tell you, he can be the local celebrity and ride that forever. Other teams,
he's already the local celebrity. We have the guy.
He was not prior to that moment. Prior to that moment, and then he grabbed that thing. Let me tell you, this right here, he just parlayed that into Celebration of the Year, which is only second to Sportsmanship of the Year award.
What's more unlikely? The Tommy DeVito thing that he went in, he beat the Packers, right? He played a couple good games. He played some bad games. He's not an NFL quarterback. But what's more unlikely? Tommy DeVito's story, right? Or in the NHL, it's happened a couple times. I think 5 years ago it happened. What they have is they have the emergency goalie. They have, do you know about this? Each team has two goalies, right? Yeah. They have two goalies dressed, and then there's one guy who's an emergency goalie. He sits in the locker room. He's usually just a beer league player, and he plays for both teams. Yes. Whichever team goes down with both goalies, he'll come on. Yes. And everyone, he came on a couple of years ago, I think the Canadians. He won the game, stopped 25 shots. What's more unlikely, that or the Tommy DeVito going in there and winning a couple games?
And making the stops and
he made 15 stops in the third period, won the game 4-2.
It was something like that. I feel like it was more 6-4, okay, but it might have been. It wasn't like he had a clean sheet.
No,
I'll give you if he had a clean sheet. No, it really was. That's one of my favorite things because it's so genuine. You know why? It's Tommy DeVito. If you make it onto an NFL roster and you make it into a backup quarterback role, you are there to be that
practice squad.
No, but you're there you're like a quarterback. You are. I'm sorry. If you put them up against anywhere else, if you take one of those backups and you put them in the XFL, they're going to be the MVP that year.
I agree. I agree with you.
Whereas this guy, you could put him in his beer league. He's not the best guy in his beer league.
No.
And that's why it's so much better.
It's so much better. So much better.
That's the underdog. I loved it. And it was so genuine. The guy, I've never seen someone just be so humble and be like, I can't even believe it. And then you get the win, and the guys come up to me after, and then, Pat, I was done. Like, I'm serious. That's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, no, it is. It's always a great story.
But speaking of which, and it's funny because we've just had the last 5 minutes a fire alarm going off. I don't know if you heard the. It's somewhere. Not even. No, not like that. Like someone's. It was a car or something. It sounded like a house. But last night, someone middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sets off the fire alarm at the 49ers host hotel. Now, the whole teams aren't in that hotel. If you go over, Kansas City was sleeping like babies. Resting.
Resting.
Man, let me tell you. Well, it doesn't even matter. We know it was an inside. We know it wasn't by accident. Like, it happened. But now, who are the options on who did this? You ready? So we got...
Aren't they cameras? How'd they get onto the... Oh, they just went
cameras,
in the building.
Bob. I mean, these days you can wear a mask walking to CVS and take the whole store with you.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, you live in Queens. You know what goes on, Bob. Yeah.
I walked into CVS 2 weeks ago and they go, the lady's on the phone, she goes, I want to report a robbery in progress. And I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Like, where's the robbery? And the guy just walks out with the car full of stuff.
Got it. And that's what happened. Now, in this situation, who put on the mask? Now, I feel it was like Taylor Swift with an Andy Reid mask.
Is one of her fans
trying to do their part? So here's the options. Was it a Swiftie trying to, obviously, get get Swift her first Super Bowl?
Just a drunk idiot?
Just a random guy who just fell. Like, was it Kittle? Kittle hammered. Kittle hammered. Andy Reid thought it was a cheeseburger.
Definitely. That's a possibility.
And honestly, what I think, because this is what everybody in the world wants, it was Roger Goodell pretending to be Barry Sanders.
Absolutely.
Because that's what he wants. The NFL, nobody in this world wants anything more.
When I was in college...
than for Taylor Swift to get her
When I was in college and I lived in the dorm buildings for like the first year or so, we used to come home from the bars. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, right? We're wasted, whatever. Riley, my good friend Riley, who I lived with, we used to go downstairs into like the lounge area where there's a microwave, and we'd go in there, we'd put popcorn in, microwave popcorn, and set it for 30 minutes, and then go upstairs and wait for the alarm to go off. 3 in the morning. We would do it like every weekend, and
we would terrorize our dorm. And the worst part is, you know what ours was in Oneonta was, and God, we're 18-year-old kids, and we come back from the bars, but the worst part is our RA, and on our floor, not in the building, on our floor, the RA was the bartender at the bar.
Oh, so he didn't get home till like 5, right?
But he was like the responsible guy.
But the bars closed early too.
No, it was like 1 a.m. So this is like 2 in the morning by this point, if so, and it's like on a Tuesday. And I can just remember one night where we come home and my roommate threw a magic 8-ball against the wall and exploded purple juice all over. And he comes out after he was just serving us drinks all night. He knows we're like 18 years old. And now we're all out there. And he's like, guys, are you kidding me? And we're like, and we're all mopping up purple juice in the middle of the night.
Now let's get, before we get our football scores and stuff for tomorrow, the Knicks trade deadline this week just passed. The Knicks are the consensus decision. Knicks are the overall winners of the entire NBA trade deadline. Yeah. They get Bogdanovich. They get Burks.
Yep.
They gave away Arcidiacono, who's been playing.
They got rid of Fournier stuff, which sets them up for next year.
Yes,
that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and nobody realizes that was the whole deal. They get 2 guys who are consistent scorers right now. You're looking at guys who are putting up, when they want to, 20 points and averaging like good numbers. They will be on the second team. The Knicks' second team now is up there with any second 5 out there on any team in the NBA right now. And you know how it goes. If you give your stars a chance to rest, you let them go off in the first quarter. You give them a good chunk of the second quarter. Let me tell you, when they get that chance to rest at the second half of that third quarter, and your squad can go up and face off against the other team and keep it going, that's what it's going to do. It's going to give them the rest. Their second squad's going to keep them in the games where the Knicks used to be up by 20. By the time the fourth quarter came around, they used to be down by 5. Yeah. And now they're going to be still in the league going to the fourth quarter. The stars are going to be rested. It's just going to be good substitutions. Bogdanovich and those guys, he's going to fill in perfectly for Randall right now. Yeah. Absolutely perfect.
Well, they lost. You saw that what they did without Randall. I mean,
Yeah.
they played it. They were shorthanded, as
But
shorthanded
these
as you could
injuries
be.
are getting out of control for the Knicks.
The injuries are good.
And is it overuse?
Because you got surgery now for OG.
OG, bone spur in the elbow.
The second
3 to 5
time now
weeks.
that Brunson has rolled an ankle.
We've seen that, and then if he comes back too soon, does he end up wearing himself out with the ankle?
He's got to come back though. 2 weeks they can start slip. They have a shot at the Celtics now.
It's good news for Brunson. It looks like he's coming back.
Yeah, well, he's listed as questionable for these games. Yeah, I think he's questionable again tonight.
He'll be back soon, but again, if he has to push himself, I'd rather him take the day. But it gets even worse, and then you have but even Hartenstein went and hurt himself the other night too.
Now, speaking of the Knicks and getting a superstar, Brian Windhorst, who's an NBA insider for ESPN, he basically he has the LeBron James beat for his whole life. He's covered LeBron James for the last 20 years. He said that LeBron James, if you watch the game when they played the Knicks after the interview, he was wearing the Knicks towel. He said that was on purpose, sending the Knicks a message. He said LeBron James does nothing,
of course,
by accident.
Of course, 100%. And honestly, the Lakers, who did nothing at the deadline, they actually just picked up Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, but the Lakers have been playing good.
No, but they just actually did pick up a piece in Spencer Dinwiddie off of waiver wire, whatever it was.
It's the question is he said
I know what you're saying
because it gives him plausible deniability when you ask him about it. He goes, "No, I just grabbed the towel, someone put it on me. I didn't even know it was
that's
the
the
next
guy
towel."
you want. We're going to do what the Mets do or the Jets do. You're going to bring in the oldest possible guy at the back end of his career, who then is going to have to have those minutes.
Yeah, but he's playing nobody his age has ever played like this. He's averaging 25 a game. He's still playing like a 10
We talked about it last week. It takes the ball out of other people's hands, and it's only going to work if those other guys are on board. If they're in I wanted to be the superstar, I was going to move forward this year. You think guys want to take a step back in their career? If LeBron shows up, other guys have to take a step back. Now, I'm all for it if that turns you into one of these other teams. But we've watched trying to piece together too many superstars together. The Knicks look like they're not going in that direction. They look like they're piecing together a squad of people who are high-end, efficient players.
Yeah, listen.
This is very different than high-scoring no defense.
Right.
You want Kevin Durant, you know what you get? You get 40 points a game, and a guy who lets you blow by him on the other end. You know what I mean? Like, that's what lacks. The guys you have both. I'm not saying LeBron's that guy. I'm just saying, like, he's the guy, if you take him, he's Supermax, like, contract, that's great, but you're going to have to give him a good amount of rest. And then all of a sudden, when the ball, who's getting the ball? It's LeBron every time.
Yeah, but
I just don't know. I just don't know if it fits. And this year is going to be the Knicks have to go do something this year, and it will take the questions away of do we need a LeBron or do you want the next superstar who's going to be here for really years? Let me tell you, you're going to have the choice between LeBron or Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yes.
Who do you really want? Do you want LeBron for 1 year? You want LeBron for 1 year? You want Donovan Mitchell for 5?
The
Knicks, let me tell you.
The Knicks have got championship ready next year.
Donovan Mitchell can do more than what LeBron can do right now on the court on a nightly basis.
Yeah, yes.
So right now, today, on night after night after night, without taking a night off, Donovan Mitchell will score more points and have more rebounds and play better than LeBron James. I'm telling you, and you're going to get so much more, and you have a choice. I'm telling you, it's so much easier. LeBron's the name. You bring him in to make money. Championship?
The Knicks don't need money.
They don't, but I'm saying, you're right, but if you want to sell jerseys and do all that, Donovan Mitchell's going to be good. He's not that. He's not LeBron. But I think he'll win more championships with the Knicks.
All right, so my train's coming, Brett. So I'm gonna.
Let's do this.
Who you got? Who you got tomorrow? Give me a winner and a score.
Yeah, it's going to be Kansas City. Kansas City continues to show up and act like it's any other football game. San Francisco and Brock Purdy press a little too hard. I think he's proven in some of his earlier halves of his playoff games that. He gets a little off. He doesn't hit those passes perfectly when it's early. He's a little nervous. I think it's going to be a 31-28 Kansas City.
31-28, so they cover the points.
They cover the points.
Oh, they're getting points. They're getting points. Sorry.
Well, they went outright. And they're over, and it's going over.
I have a little more lopsided. Kansas City. They blitz Purdy. They get him off his game. He makes a couple mistakes. McCaffrey has a good game. Kittle has a decent game, but Kelsey has a big game. Mahomes has a big game. Mahomes MVP. 28-17. Kansas City wins. And that goes down. That's the under, Brett. 28-17 is under.
You're telling me of, Kittle,
Yeah.
Debo,
defense,
and McCaffrey.
Kansas City
they can't
defense is
they can't get 3 touchdowns.
Kansas
Come
City
on.
defense is underrated, and Purdy's not gonna have a good game. He's gonna be rattled. He's
Put it this way,
too big for his
Kansas City's going to be up by 2 scores, and then Kelsey's going to have a big fumble that makes this a game.
That's not a bad call. I can see that happening.
That's happening.
So, all right, so that's it. We're going to draw the boxes for you guys later. I might even put them at the end of the show or something, when I put it in. But anyway.
Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have fun. Don't eat too much. Don't drink and drive. Make sure you have, if you do, camp cocktails.
Camp cocktails. Yeah, we didn't even put a commercial break in. So, Camp Craft Cocktails.
Not enough time.
Vouch.store/lockedupsports. Vouch.store/lockedupsports. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. Enjoy the game, everybody. See ya.